Chanel from the HR. HR.
I don't know what it was about it this week where it just, the bass in the song just really hit a different level for some reason.
It was heavy.
I wasn't, when he played it in, I was like, oh, okay.
I felt it in my chest.
I felt it in my whole soul. Jobber Nation, shout out to our engineer. He's a Buffalo Bills guy. That's my Buffalo Bills guy. Jobber Nation, welcome to another rendition episode of the Jobber TS podcast. As always, I'm Janelle from HR, here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc, and we have a very, very special guest joining us all the way from Phoenix, Arizona, representing the Matt Mania podcast. I typically let everyone introduce themselves, so I will let you do the honors of yourself, sir. So let the viewers know who you are, where you from, and what you represent.
Hey, it's perfectly fine. I was enjoying your voice over mine anyway. What's up, Jobber Tiz Nation? I go by the name of G1 to the rescue. I am the Matt Mania podcast show producer and co-host. Shouts out to my bros at home, T. Call, Neo X, Rock Knowledge.
Nigga close his eyes. He's like, yo.
You know what? It's a euphoric experience because you don't know how good it feels to be on a mic again after so long. I mean, outside of like the studio, because we haven't recorded in the same place in Phoenix in a long time, so it just feels great. But anyway, T Rock, Neo, of course I lead Book and Mega Ran. Shouts out to the whole Steel Cage family as Matt Mania podcast. We are now part of the Steel Cage Network. Shouts out to those guys as well. Just out here enjoying myself. I celebrated a birthday about a week or so ago.
Gang.
Oh yeah, the cancer season is ending soon, so don't worry about it.
Mob, you know what it is.
I know.
Yep.
Let's fast forward through that so we can get to the truest season of them all.
Leo's kind of mean. But anyway, shout out to all the cancers. Shout out to all the Leos coming up. And we know Virgo season's right around.
You're lonely on that one. No one shout out Leos out here but you.
Hey,
I got a good Leo friend.
We got to give everybody their equal.
I got
one good Leo friend. Shout out my boy Craig, man.
We got to give everybody their
my homeboy TJ I've known for over 15 years.
I know Craig for like ever since I was 21. So yeah. So you know what? There's some good ones out there. So shout out to the good Leos. Like the first half of Leo, not the second half. Like
the Leos that don't make you want to punch them in the fucking face. Shout out to them Leos.
Actually, I think I've dated 2 Leos.
How does that work out for you?
That shit. Hell.
One was one of my first loves. That was good. The other one was a psychopath.
Yep. That's expected.
But I have 2 friends that are like Leo. The thing about Leos, they need a lot of attention.
Not like Pisces.
Pisces need a different type of attention. And from my experience. So Leos they have to be the center of attention without being the center of attention. So I've always been able to like been around them and they've been fine. And then when you become close to them, they'll take care of you. They do. The ones that I've been in things. Like I have a friend, he's a manager at a nightclub. One of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my life. And Leos know how to get money.
Yeah.
Leos know how to get money.
By the way, side note, fuck all that Pisces shit. Never again.
A true Leo, like someone that who really knows who they are and embrace the good and the bad in themselves, you notice that they're like the more nicer version of Leos. That's what I realized. Like prime example of a good Leo is
Leo too.
HBK. Once he realized, once he found himself, you realize all he wanted to do was give back. Like you realize that.
Wait, is it not still Cancer season? Because HBK birthday was the other day. Oh no,
he's a Leo.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I mean. That you see how there's always two different HBK eras.
Facts.
They said before Christ. Wow, he's definitely split it. Before Christ and after Christ.
That's deep.
Yeah. Because before Christ, he was definitely like an a-hole. He put over nobody.
Facts.
Nobody he put over. He criticized everything and nothing. Now his second half, he won a world championship one time. But then he put over
I was there.
People.
I was there.
HBK didn't barely want to do the chop anymore.
Yo, barely. But look how many people he put over. Yeah. He put over John. When he was on Raw, he put over Edge. He put over Jericho. Yeah. He put over John Cena. Yeah. He put over Batista. Yeah. Like Randy Orton. Mad. Even like this dude's on his level. He elevated Triple H. He elevated Undertaker. What? Those.
They call him Mr. WrestleMania for a reason.
We will not speak about any type of Mr.
He
WrestleMania.
is Mr. WrestleMania
at all.
But he's like, for me, he's WrestleMania as far as sports. He's him and Undertaker's neck and neck.
Okay.
Because as far as sports entertainment wise, like as far as in-ring entertainment wise, it's you gotta give it to HBK. But as far as adding the legacy to WrestleMania, it's Undertaker. You can't talk WrestleMania without talking about Undertaker's streak. You feel me?
Right.
I just think he had I always give it to Sean. Like, Undertaker's streak never became a thing until like later.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So I get the legacy part, which is right. Like, Undertaker, legacy, WrestleMania.
Legacy.
But since his first WrestleMania, Sean's been that guy.
Yeah. Facts.
And even his bullshit matches, it's like, yo, this is great. Also, Sean caught a little bit of karma because he met a bigger ego called Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, bitch, yeah."
They were supposed to. If anybody remembers, Hogan up against, I forgot what pay-per-view it was.
SummerSlam.
It was
supposed to be the best of 3.
It was supposed to be legit a program, like a 3-match program, and Hogan was like, "I'm not losing.
I'm not jobbing.
I'm not jobbing to Sean." And Sean pulled some dickhead move where he oversold.
My favorite part is I never see Hogan ever kick nobody, but Hogan was kicking him, and dude flew that high.
Because he oversold the shit out of it.
Oversold the entire.
It wasn't like how The Rock oversold the stutter. Where like, it makes sense. Like when The Rock oversold the stutter, you're like, oh
no,
man,
but when Sean oversold every hit that Hogan made, it was like you're obnoxious as fuck.
Do you know the whole story behind the stunner oversell?
I think that
it's funny
like,
as shit.
He try to like outdo each one he does it.
Yeah, because it's like hey, if you know what I'm saying, if you outsell the stunner this time, okay, beers on me, whatever the situation. But they used to do little fun shit like
because
that.
Because they had a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, they did.
And as much as I love Triple H, it was the complete opposite with him and Triple H.
Yeah.
So yeah. I really appreciate the stories that like him and Stone Cold have. Speaking of The Rock, like that friendly rival was like, yo, we're gonna make it great. Like, you know what I mean?
I think that the difference between like, okay,
I'm not gonna kill each other. Y'all gonna try to outdo each other.
Right. I think that I got compared to sports.
Facts.
You know, look at somebody like a friend like LeBron and Kobe. Everybody tried to really put them against each other, but it was like real talk of friendly rivalry. Like,
I think it's more Larry Bird and Magic.
Yeah. You want facts. More like Larry Bird and Magic. Like, let's make this money. Be like, yo, Rock. Let's make this money. Let's make this money. Triple H is all about.
Let's go out here and put
I
ass
want
in
to
the
be
seats.
part of wrestling history. Triple H want to be cemented into legacy. Into WWE, which is fine.
It's a great Triple H impersonation.
No, but don't be.
But the thing is,
Trips what we not gonna
came with a goal already.
Exactly.
Because the story. So supposedly when he first started, they were, I don't know if they were at a pay-per-view or somewhere. And I forget who's telling this story. It's one of the divas, and they were all hanging out. He was with Sean, and he looked around and said, I'm going to take over this place. Yeah. When he first got there. And then Kevin tells this story. Like, I hate doing this. Kevin Nash. Like, I
like that was your homie.
Yeah.
Like you had a
so Kevin Nash was like,
with this nigga last night.
I remember when, before the Performance Center came around, like if you broke your ankle, you just taped it up. Or one of the Japanese dudes would crack it because, you know, Japanese, Eastern medicine is a little bit more advanced than Western medicine. You know, tape something up, whatever, not really care. Yeah. And Triple H was like, yo, one day I'm going to get what the Performance Center is today. He spoke that into existence. Like, this is what's going to happen.
I don't know about what Nash, because Nash be lying sometimes.
No. But see, that's the thing. Like, people will shit on Kevin Nash, but Kevin Nash, low-key, elevated wrestling in such a subtle way that he doesn't get the credit for it. Like,
no. I'm never taking away his contribute to wrestling. That's the one thing I would say.
But I'm not even talking about. But I'm not even talking about.
But I don't think he would lie to put Triple H over.
But I'm not even talking about like wrestling.
Hogan be lying about some like the stupidness. Like, Hogan, why are you lying for? Oh yeah, I was the front man for Sting at one point. No, you weren't. You such a liar, man. When you actually people are staying there like, Hogan's lying. Yo, why? Yo, Hogan be lying, B?
Cause that's Terry though.
Lying for
you
Hogan.
Can't be listening.
You see how Carmen hit Hogan? You see
continuously.
You see how like the fans literally turned on him?
Yo, but what's so funny? I looked at my
shout out to Macho Man. R.I.P. to you, King.
Facts.
Dang.
GOAT of all time.
Dang.
It's so funny. Yesterday, and we'll move on after this.
Without the Mega Powers, you don't know. Without you, Mega Powers.
Oh, there would be no Mega Powers without Macho.
Dang.
The fuck you mean? Like what? Anyway, so yesterday I was looking at my old Snap. And I didn't realize that a year ago, I was, of course, in Florida for my cousin's wedding. But I also went to Tampa. And then I went for the Raw reunion. And I had the video of, like, Austin's pop, Cena's pop. And then Terry comes out. And it was just like, boo. You could just hear me say boo. It's the funniest thing. But really it was it just was really cool to be like, oh, this is when, going to shows was a real thing and it was fun and I got to travel for it,
Come on, man.
But fuck Terry. But anyway, before we do, I mean, it's just shit. I'm doing NXT TakeOver 30. I'm like crying inside because I want to be there
Shout out to
for
Battle
a
Club,
whole ass ladder match.
Shout out
like
to Battle Club,
I've just got into the
R.I.P. to Jabba Slam.
I've just gotten to the
habit. R.I.P. We just put it on pause.
This year.
Oh, for this year, yeah. But before we get started, we do want to say some thank yous and all that jazz. Thank you to actually the owner of Battle Club last week. He didn't get a proper episode, but he still came out, supported the crew, supported the fam. So thank you to Mr. Joaquin Morales for joining us last week. Also, the two big announcements that happened this week. We added two new shows, or 2 or 3 new shows to the Jabba Tears Podcast Network. Starting off with Talk of Champions with Shantice and Stan. So welcome to the family. Welcome. We appreciate you guys and what you guys bring to the table. So those that are watching, please make sure to follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. And make sure to tune in for their recaps on some old school. Yo, I've been on some like old WCW like Nitro vibe all this week. It's so weird. But it's so good because I was watching. It was 90. Because I think like a few weeks ago I watched Starrcade 98, and that was the catalyst of that. And then I went back. I watched the Nitro before that Starrcade, and then the Nitro after that. And it's just it was a whole bunch of fuckery going on, but I loved it. And you got to slowly see the breakdown of NWO during that time, too. So it's really good. If you're looking for something old and nice to watch, WCW Nitro in, like, 99, like the beginning of 99, the end of 98. It's a really good time. So shout-outs once again to Talk of Champions. And then our own Mrblacc is going to be continuing to do his Mrblacc show.
Black and black.
Got his own graphic. He all fancy and shit. But make sure to support Mrblacc as he does his own show. So we look forward to seeing, guests and episodes and things like that.
Got a couple of guests I have in mind.
Well, that's good. Well, keep us up to date on those things.
There's going to be a lot of surprises. There's going to be a lot of... one guest I have in mind is... I think the community needs to have this conversation. Okay,
well, we're always up for a conversation. So once again, shout out to Mrblacc for the Mrblacc show, and then also Talk of Champions that will now be on the Jabba Tears Podcast Network. Anything else before we do kind of just jump into this week in wrestling? I mean, this week has been all right. We actually, I love when actually all 3 of us are together when we watch a pay-per-view for some reason. It actually just brings a different dynamic to the conversation because we're all literally on the same page about things. So we'll talk about Impact real shortly. But anything else? What else has been going on this week? I tried to watch that New York versus Mob thing. I couldn't 100% get into it, but I'm gonna try again. I don't know why I couldn't, but
no, it's slow.
Okay, so that's really what it is.
It's a heavy docuseries, and I like docuseries.
I love documentaries, but the first 10 minutes, I was like, ain't nobody die yet. Ain't nobody.
It's literally...
They out here giving videotapes of old shit and conversations, and I was like, listen, Gambinos, get it together. Let me see some real raw shit. But I'll try it again. And then what else did I watch this week? Well, shout out to baseball starting up again. I know it's random as fuck. And then I think NBA starts up this week as well.
I know randomly I just finally watched all of Solo, a Star Wars story. I know I'm like super late. I went to see it in the theaters. I was tired as hell and I fell asleep on it. And I haven't seen it since.
It's in the movies.
Man. and I ain't seen it since. So I finally sat up on Disney Plus and finally watched the whole Disney Plus and finally watched the whole thing. And I hate critics sometimes because I feel like they'll just over criticize
you are a critic yourself
to a certain standard. I'm a different type of critic. This is a reoccurring joke on this on our show on Matt Mania because I give everything a fair chance. Our boy Rock hates everything.
Oh, so you're meeting your actual twin sitting across from you because that's always a Mrblacc thing. When we first started, about almost a year ago, when we started really talking about AEW, he was like, "It's only been 2 months. Right. Gotta give it a chance." Like he's always the advocate of giving things a chance.
And I still say AEW as a solid product. It's still growing. I've never been with the exception of TNA. I've never seen the beginnings of a full on wrestling organization. I was happy to be at the first Double or Nothing. I had never seen Chris Jericho in person prior to that, so that was pretty damn cool for me. They still got a lot of growing to do, but so far it's been a really solid product for this to only be their first year.
This week I give it to them. This week
it felt like a pay-per-view.
was a different vibe, and we'll get to that. Facts, because I feel like Impact is stepping up, so everybody's like, "Oh shit, let me step up my game up."
Chris Bay.
But let's talk about Impact real quick. This week's past weekend we watched Slammiversary, as I mentioned. Everybody at the table, we were actually all together watching it. So we'll go around the table. What's one up, one down for Slammiversary this year? And then once again, what I like about Impact too is they space out their previews like AEW does. So they do. The next one isn't Bound for Glory, but it isn't until October. So it gives you time to kind of build things and read that reset button. But I'll start off with our guest. What's one up, one down of your opinion on Slammiversary this week?
Well, you probably already know what my one up is. Shout out to my fellow Southwesterner, Chris Bay, who won the X Division title, beating another favorite of ours and also friend of Matt Mania podcast, Willie Mack.
Shout out to Willie Mack.
Yes, indeed. He put on one hell of a show. You can't expect nothing less from Willie, but man, Chris been looking like a superstar ever since he signed that contract. I feel like he been waiting to be a whole asshole on TV, and it works so well in his favor, man. Shout out to Chris for that. I don't know, one down, shit. The show was so good. One down was just, to me, it was too short. I could have used like 2 more matches. It was it was such a good pay-per-view.
It was good. Yeah. The sense of like you wanted more, not the sense of it's not.
Yeah, it wasn't in the sense of like, that's what I'm saying. Like it was like, damn, I'm satisfied, but I low key just want to be full. Like this shit's great. Yeah. Like
you want to be full, that shit hurts.
Hurts your back.
That shit hurts everything. Waist down, that shit hurts. That shit hurts. I don't like being
robot.
Full.
Oh man, that's how
I don't like being full anymore. I used to be a human garbage disposal.
Shout out to the buffets. I miss y'all.
How about RIP to the buffets?
Man, that shit is a that shit ain't coming back.
COVID.
We'll talk about the buffet like that. That's
I'm just saying. Right? That's if you ever go to, that's the one thing I actually didn't like about Vegas is the fucking buffets. Even though Isaiah Wolf, because you got to keep kayfabe alive. He loves the fucking buffets in Vegas, and I was just like, bro, it's not even like that good. Like whatever.
But then again, you've been around the world. You went to Alaska for no reason.
I didn't go to Alaska. I wish I could. You know what I wanted? You know what's funny? My grandma, she's always wanted to do a cruise in Alaska. Like in Alaska. Like leaving, it leaves out of like Portland or something. And it goes up to Alaska.
I know somebody I used to know this woman, this grown woman.
I want to go to Vancouver.
She's always talking all the time, but
I would love to go to Iceland.
She told me about
Alaska.
Alaska.
That's how I feel about Alaska.
Like Alaska, actually 6 months dark, and
yeah, see, that's some bullshit.
Yeah. But here comes the thing about growing in Alaska. Since there's so much sun, a lot of crops grow a lot bigger. So that's where a lot of people will go for to have those which one's the biggest crop thing. Yeah, it's kind of a fun fact. Don't ask me. I know that because shout out to the University of YouTube.
Okay.
Several doctor degrees. I have several certificates.
Did you just try to proclaim yourself as like the doctor of thugonomics?
Summa cum laude.
No. I'm talking about the many hours I spend at the University of YouTube. I have several doctorates in many different topics.
Anyway,
I have many.
Dr. Black.
No. Hold on. Let me talk my credibility.
Well, we ain't got time for that. I need you to tell me what you thought about Slammiversary. We ain't got time for that.
I gotta say this. I have many certificates in plumbing. electrician, and such as carpenting. So shout out to YouTube for that. You know, shout out to many great teachers on the platform. You know, I also have many different certificates in engineering and video editing. You know,
I'm glad about
that.
However, one up, one down.
I say my biggest up was the women's title match.
Yes.
I think that was like lit. I feel that was the match that we could always go back and say that was the trigger effect that triggered everything else in the whole industry, because it basically told me that women could hit hard. I know this because I've seen it at indie events, but to see it on a pay-per-view on a high grand level, like all you see is two women, they want one common goal is to be the best woman in that division, and they was. And from belt to belt, it was one of the best women's matches I've seen this year. Like I was like, wow,
yeah, it was cool.
Tremendous, you know.
Very
and
cool.
I say one down is effort. I have to say the women's battle royal. I felt that.
Oh, the gauntlet match.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, all right, you know, like that was like if you want to say everything in the pay-per-view as a total, that would be like, it's not even like a bad down, like a brown down. Shout out to my son Simon Miller. Shout out to you. It wasn't a brown down. It was just like, if I have to pick something, if I have to pick it down, that would be that. But that's not even negative. It's
if
like
you could have just took something out, that would have been the one
or
thing.
the structure a little bit different, but I like the concept, like everyone got eliminated and it turned to one-on-one. Like, I like that.
Right.
I really do like that.
Hashtag Battle Club, bro.
Because like it really shows you that who's willing to go to the end, to basically, you know, to the end of the end for this opportunity. Like, come on, to me, imagine like if they incorporate the WWE Men's Royal Rumble. Like, for example, my son Chris Benoit forms from beginning to the end, and like he really had to fight Big Show. Beat him down. Big Show kept on prevailing. And finally got Richard to the top. Imagine that pop, that bigger pop, like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Don't be wrong.
Defeating the impossible.
Don't be wrong. The fact that he was able to take that person, Big Show, out the way he did,
right?
It was still great. But that's another way to tell the same exact story.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. Sir Wilkins, one up, one down, real quick for Impact.
The biggest up was for me, the elimination title match. A lot of surprises. Swan pulled a nice
he
little swerve.
He okey-doked all of us.
That was really dope. Seeing Eric Young come out, old school style. It was dope. It was a good look.
TNA alumni.
My down, per se, would have been, I didn't like Moose versus Tommy Dreamer.
At all.
I didn't like it at all. I rewatched it. I was like, this is not it. It was two different styles that didn't mesh well during that match.
Because Tommy's too slow, and Moose is slower.
No,
it's dragged.
They were having a hardcore match, and it wasn't a brawl per se. Because as much as people try to say Moose brawls, Moose doesn't really brawl like that. So it didn't come off the way that it needed to come off, and Tommy being a legend didn't play off Moose well throughout the match. And I didn't. I'm not. It is what it is. The match was like that's why I was in the beginning, and not towards the end. But their acts, which is I'm confused because they have two titles. So
let's talk about that real quick.
The main event match was really, really well put together. Like everybody got their shit in, and it was good.
So
you heard about Tessa?
Yeah, about how she holding shit ransom. But you know what's crazy though? The new title looks better than the one she has.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter. Like I didn't even notice the difference, but when I really went and looked, I was like, oh, the shit that he has is better than what she's holding.
Tessa said like,
that's fine.
Give me $150, be like on some
that's some paid in full shit. Like
on some Jeff didn't hold up the company. They just
they just owed him.
Yeah, like but the Urban Legend sound way better than that. So I'm sticking to Urban Legend.
No, don't do that.
Real quick, Motor City Machine Guns.
Huh?
Is it true?
I don't know if it's 100% true. Do I feel like that would have been the move? Yes.
But what do you get out of that though? You get
money.
You get 150, but then like your reputation looks trash.
Well, I think it already.
I don't think she cares.
I think the relationship was already sour because of how it was handled. So I think at that point you don't give a fuck about how it looks.
Facts.
You know, like at the end of the day, it was like, well, you guys fired me. You didn't even let my contract run out, even though it was running out.
Oh, this is after they fired her. She wanted.
This was the whole thing with the whole title because they were crowning a new TNA World Champion. this past Sunday. And then the belt that Eddie Edwards has, who I don't really give a fuck about, but the belt he has is not the belt, the actual belt. They had to make a whole new belt.
But the thing is, though, like, I don't know why, and this is what shows, like, when people have leverage and when people have cachet in a situation, because nobody really is blaming Tessa for nothing. Like, people's going, well, they fired her on her on her thing. No, you didn't do your job.
Correct.
And yo, you can't email me a promo.
That part I understood, but the part that I felt like we spoke about before, my issue had been, if you had already knew that her contract was ending and you knew she wasn't coming to the States, why wait so late to strip her the
thing about it, nobody knew that COVID was gonna keep her away.
That's true.
But the thing is, I'm pretty confident she could get back to the States.
Yeah, but that's on her.
Right.
That's on her because, okay, I put the title on you because we're gonna do this push. We all know you're not coming back, but we're gonna put this title on you so we can make some money. COVID happens, and we all know you can come back, and you refuse to do your job. You have a contract.
Correct.
You're under contract. And
my issue was never them releasing her. It just was.
No, even if they knew she wasn't gonna leave, it's the same thing with a basketball player.
Right.
You're still under contract with me. I could trade you, but you know what? TikTok, like Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
He comes to Toronto. Toronto knew off the rip Kawhi wasn't gonna stay.
And that's dude with the funny laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kawhi was not gonna stay with the Toronto Raptors. They knew that when they made the trade.
But they still put in the pieces for him to succeed.
Exactly.
Well, because a title is a title.
A title is a title. So they still worked it. Yeah. And then Kawhi, what'd he do? He left.
Yeah. Just like with Tessa, like with TNA, they basically let her and Valkyrie go against each other.
Exactly.
First ever women and women for a men's title. There you go. Like that run, if she had just did her job, that would have definitely carried on to have more leverage going to any company.
Exactly. So it's like, okay,
you help each other out.
You helping each other out, and then people are not. It's because, like I say, it's cachet and it's clout. Mm-hmm. Sadly, Tessa has bigger clout than Impact, and Impact is seen as a joke in the community sometimes. So the whole situation is, I'm putting strictly on Tessa. I don't care if your contract's about to run out, and we know this. We got a job to do. We still got a show to put on. We could just bury you when we find this out, or we make this bread real quickly. And all they asked was, yo, send me these promos while you sit your ass in Mexico with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Just send me these promos. We build this up real quick. We take the title off of you, and then we go to fuck home, and that's it. But she didn't want to do that. And the thing, it goes back. Once again, you got more clout.
Too busy getting her back blown out. She ain't worried about the damn promos.
You have more clout. You don't want to resign. Fine. You don't want to resign. You think you're above Impact?
Air that on Access?
You're entitled to that. You're totally entitled to that.
No, which is true. So real quick, my up would have been, I agree with Mr. Black, the women's match. I thought when WWE took furloughed or released Deonna Purrazzo, I said that is the biggest mistake they could have done.
Super big mistake.
Especially with such a strong, and I still stand up, NXT has by far the strongest women's division. Facts. Impact is very close to it right now, but that piece of Deonna added that value to Impact's women's division.
Virtuoso.
But shout outs to her and Jordan Grace, former Icons. Battle Club Icons Women's Champion, but I'm just going to put that cheap plug. And then my down, honestly speaking, once again, I'm not a big fan of Eddie Edwards. I really can care less. Him winning the title did nothing for me. Even after watching Impact this past Tuesday, if you did watch Impact after, because I like watching the post pay-per-view shows, especially. Watching Impact this week and then EC3 popping up and attacking Moose, that made me more interested in a random ass title that has no real value than the actual new TNA World Champion.
Because him and Moose had great chemistry.
Right.
So it's the TNA Heavyweight Championship
and then it's the
Impact World Championship.
So once again, I'm not a big fan of Eddie Edwards. There's no shade, but
TNA Championship might just be like
the World Championship. Like when it's like remember
that's like the prestigious, like been around for a while.
Yeah,
like
I
AJ
think that's
Styles
more like the IC
belt.
title. Like I think that's what like even though the IC title, it is what it is though. But like Icy Tide has some memorable hitters though. Be like,
well, yeah, they're gonna have memorable matches.
Hitters. Be like,
so that's
that
what I'm saying.
bring,
like, I feel like
prestige
if you made this man your champion, my focus and my attention should be to what his next storyline is gonna be. And the way they presented it on Tuesday, it was like, I actually really don't give a fuck. EC3 attacked Moose. I'm more interested in that.
Yeah,
what the fuck's going on there? You know what I mean?
But
so
Eddie Edwards might be like a transitional champion.
Which is even worse.
Listen.
Makes it even worse because he's gonna end up
JBL, Undertaker, Edge.
That's very different. JBL though, that's a different conversation because I actually have a very strong love for like his actual not only title run but like his whole career. Like it just always progressed in a different way than a lot most people. So that's a different conversation.
There's nothing wrong with being
there's nothing wrong with traditional, but it should be.
What you do with
it should be the transitional champion that makes sense though, because if you were gonna do the transitional champion, I would have honestly then put it on Ace Austin then, and then but I would have gave him though the solid run. I would have him hold it till Bound for Glory, build the storyline, because now you got so many other stories going on because you have Ace Austin and his homeboy with the Good Brothers. Then you have Moose now with EC3 building. Then you have Ken Shamrock, and actually that should have been my dad, even though I love Kenny. Shit, that match was, oh boy. But then you have Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan going for the tag titles and wanting to be a tag team and dysfunctional as fuck. Like, you have so many different things going on that leaves what for your actual world champion? That doesn't leave much.
It's still young.
So, but that's just my opinion real quick.
Listen,
Motor City Machine Guns. I just had to
and that's a whole different. I wouldn't have put the tag titles on them either, but that's a whole different can of worms.
I'm sorry, I marked out when they showed up at Slammiversary.
No, showing up at Slammiversary was dope because Slammiversary to them is like kind of like their essence WrestleMania.
But then
so
again,
you have all the old people.
It's basically for the people that who's love TNA.
Correct.
Because if I told anybody that the Motor Machine Guns came back as a group. You got New Japan fans who like their work. You got TNA fans who love their work.
You got old school TNA people that want to be invested.
People be like, wait a minute.
The same reason we're invested in Eric Young. Like,
y'all beat the North? These are the same guys that beat LAX? All this stuff like that? I got to must watch. And then, shout out to YouTube and Google, you look up these guys' match, you go, whoa. And then you find out other wrestlers like, let's go back. Motor City Machine Gun versus Team 3D, bangers.
Yes.
Shout out to like the shout out to one of the most greatest trilogy of matches, Motor City Machine Gun versus Beer and Money.
Yes,
Come
indeed.
on, if you want the best of matches,
God,
like different kind of tag team matches in the back. Ooh.
Yeah, I feel like why not? I get my
in the long run. It's for basically like I always say before. You try to get returning fans.
Right.
And at the same exact time, they still could go in the ring. You get a newer fans.
I get you want the return fans. I get you want people to be invested. But for me, it's more like these guys haven't been on TV for 10 years, and the second match, it's the whole thing. Like people say, like how Brian Cage got the title match and the ink barely dried on the contracts. The same thing with them. They barely just got back. They've been missing 10 years on the milk carton.
They have been missing
and they become tag team. One of them stopped wrestling. Period.
Doesn't matter.
Basically put them on a milk carton for 10 years, and now they are the new Impact tag team champions.
It doesn't matter. It's just like when Minnesota picked up D Wade. They picked them up. They knew that how to you know what? Tim was like, let me see if I can get the best out of D Rose like I did before, and he did. Barely. Sometimes you need to pick up some of these old people because you know they can get the best out of them.
But you know what? Then I want people to keep that same energy when the E does it. But anyway, speaking about WWE,
I do.
Extreme Rules was the following day. And real quick, we'll go one up, one down, and then we'll go into our interesting topic of the week is talking about Booker T's controversial statement. So we'll get into that in a second. But real quick, let's talk about Extreme Rules that was this past Sunday, the horror show at Extreme Rules. The fuck is that about? But I'll start off with Sir Wilkins. What is one up, one down about Extreme Rules?
Biggest up was Sasha versus Asuka. You got to give it up to like all those women, man. Like that match was perfectly perfect. And some people complain about the ending, but the ending made you want to watch Raw.
Correct.
Because everybody's Googling like, is she still champion? Is she champion? No. Wikipedia said that she's still, that Asuka's still champion, this and that. And it made you want to watch Raw. Did Raw ratings go up? They slightly went up a little bit. But listen, what they did in that match was awesome. There was a mistake that Sasha did where it was a botch when she came off the top rope.
Oh, about how like her knee looked like it buckled, or
she slipped, but then she switched it when it made like she was slightly injured and whatever, and then they worked through the match. Like it was excellent shit that was done all around. Like excellent shit in that match. Then Bailey grabs the referee's shirt. You're like, what the fuck is going on? You're totally confused. The fucking car crash of shit that's going on, but they look like thieves in the night. And that's the whole concept. Like you just stole the title real quick for 24 hours. And that is fucking amazing.
Shout out to Becky Dose Belts.
And it's just
Bailey Dose Belts.
So it came off absolutely amazing. My down was I liked it, but I wish more there was come out of it with the swamp match. It should have been a whole lot more done. It did what it needed to do.
It felt so fast.
But it was a little bit rushed. Maybe the budget ran out, but
yeah, it was like the lighting and everything. We gotta wrap this up, guys.
Yeah, so that's my thing. I didn't have a problem with Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules was a little underwhelming, but it was solid.
All right, Mrblacc.
Shout out to the eye.
Oh no, do not because that's the down.
Because it makes sense.
Fake ass the vomit though.
So what? Like, you cannot get mad for someone react to something. It was a great match, and it made sense because shout out to Vader, RP to him. When his eye fell out, he put it back in.
It's real life, though.
But it doesn't matter to people, but it doesn't matter.
Though.
It does not matter.
That's nasty as hell. I didn't even know about that.
Vader literally
lost his eye back in the day, he lost his eye in the match, then he put it back in, but it was real.
He still see it.
It was real.
But it shows you that somebody can get their eye poked out and still be able to see after.
Well, yeah, remember, I forget which chapter it is. I think it's chapter 2, Undertaker, when he was about to get the hip surgery and the doctor comes in and asks him, well, how many surgeries have you had? And him and Michelle McCool look at each other like, where do we begin? And he was like, yeah, both my eye sockets I've had surgery on. Like, nigga, what?
That's how I feel like when people say that.
Wild.
Blind. I'm looking like, but Vader's see he's dead. He's perfectly fine. You know, this is why people don't people need to do their homework. So,
but okay, so eye for an eye match.
Very well told. Again, like, what do you expect out of Ray and Seth? Bangers. You know, that was very good.
I mean, shout out to Ray, though, for working per diem, though. I give him that because that contract expired.
My down.
And he's still fucking with the E, so
I was looking forward for the MVP versus Apollo match. I was upset.
I was upset, too.
I was just like...
I mean, you know I'm not with the black on black crime, but
there's no such
it definitely it is.
Crime is crime.
Black on black crime.
Yeah,
but
it isn't, though. Exactly. Like, if a bunch of white people live in one area, they're going to kill each other. But no one calls that white on white crime, right?
They can.
They call it crime, right?
They can call it white on white crime.
I
mean, I wouldn't.
They never. They never.
Not to say someone else doesn't. I can't sit here and assume that shit.
Nobody says that.
Nobody ever says that
white on white crime.
Asian crime or Spanish or Spanish crime.
Nobody ever says that. Nobody ever says that.
Dominicans versus Puerto Ricans is the real thing, though.
Yeah, but nobody ever says. Nobody ever says
Latino versus Latino crime.
No, it's literally black on black crime. Like, and I think we also gotta like take away that mentality when we see two black wrestlers wrestle against each other.
No, I love it though.
No, I'm just saying, but like a lot of people's like, yo, why they have to go? No.
Why not?
So why doesn't Seth and Edge go against each other? Is that white? Yeah. Is that bad?
Oh no, they're white. They can't go against each other.
No, it's just it's wrestling.
Yeah. What about like AAA? It's a bunch of Spanish versus Spanish crime.
Yo, so not for nothing. I told you I was on some Nitro like spiel. They had, you remember back on WCW days where they had the midgets wrestling?
Yes.
Yo, where they had, but they had fucking Bobby the Brain. Oh my God. Like certain shit you look back, you be like, yo, how the fuck did he get away saying that shit? Literally, they were like, they were like stipulated. So it was like you had to be
wrestlers.
You had to be under 5. You had to be 5 feet or under to be considered in the midget wrestling world.
That's funny as
Small
hell.
people.
I'm telling you literally
No,
what
I
Bobby
know.
the Brain Eating
Everything
said.
wasn't as politically correct
we're
in the
in
90s
2020.
as it is now.
Little people?
So it was funny. Yes, little people.
Yo, it was
indeed.
so extreme. It was like, what the fuck
Very
are you
terrifying.
watching? But anyway, all right, Mr. Black. So Eye for an Eye was your up. What's your down?
My down is the MVP match. I told you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, the non-existent of it. But see, once again, though, those two things, though, it made you tune into Raw, though.
Yes, and guess what?
And that's what I can kind of appreciate.
Because Apollo didn't show up, but Ricochet and his boys came out, and now
You got
Mustafa.
Mustafa. You got Mustafa.
Oh, Mustafa Ali. That's
Got
my
his last
boy.
name
Oh,
back.
Yeah.
you got his full name. Oh man, you done messed up, Vince. You let Mustafa get his whole name. Oh my God.
Chicago's very own. Yes,
Ooh-wee.
indeed.
Done messed up, B.
Yes,
now
indeed.
let Biggie get his last name, Langston. Ooh, you know it's trouble with Biggie and his last name back. Biggie Langston, the 6 to 5
Well, if he,
count.
I was about to say, if he gets his last name back, he
You
got to
gotta
do the
bring back
5
the 5
count.
count.
Like, that's just the only way
Yeah,
that's going to work.
That's necessary.
All
Much
right,
love to you.
she
Still
went to the
pray for you,
rescue.
Cesaro, to get
One
your
up,
last
one
name.
down. For extra, shut up, stupid.
Man, my one up would have to be the Drew and Dolph match. I mean, full circle. Of course, we all know when Drew came back and got called up again. Dolph was one of his guys, and now to see them just completely at odds. Drew's looking like a strong champion. Dolph is working his ass off, doing what he does best. Interesting rules. It was Extreme Rules only for Dolph. Drew had to play it safe. If he got disqualified or if he got counted out, he could still lose the belt. He played that very well. The finish of that match was the dopest shit I ever seen in my life. My man kipped up and barely stepped in to a nasty Claymore. I'm a big fan of like how in a situation somebody would finish a match or pull off a signature move or something like that. I'm very simple
But if Roman
when it
and John
comes to
Cena
wrestling
does
like
the
that.
problem, right?
Huh?
Say it louder for those in the
If
back.
Roman and John Cena does that, it's a problem.
No, I never said that. Now I don't have an issue. I don't have that same issue
Cody,
with
right?
Roman. I don't have that same issue with Roman. I don't have that same issue with John. I definitely don't have that issue with Cody. My issue with John is just more so his attire. I wish he would just put on some real wrestling gear. I have no issue with John otherwise.
That's his wrestling gear. I don't get why his issue is that. Like,
It's just-
out of all the issues
don't
of the
look-
world, the attire is the one thing that doesn't pull you in.
It just looks like
Nakamura wears like a jumpsuit.
He wears a
open,
onesie,
like this,
a
right?
leather.
That's
He wears a
his-
wet leather onesie.
All
but
the time,
it's
but that's
it's
okay
a
though,
distinct look. There's nobody else in
That's-
wrestling that.
no
And
one
no
else
one
is
else
wrestling
had
just like John Cena.
no one else.
There's
was-
other people that wrestling. We was just talking about old boy from TNA, which I don't understand why he changed this whole look. I hate that.
Talking
new-
about Eddie Edwards.
I hate that he changed this whole look to this whack ass hip hop white boy shit. I don't like that shit, bro. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. I hate it. Cena should have deaded that shit after 07 and should have adopted some actual ring gear. I'm sorry. But anyway.
I mean,
This
he
is an
was,
ongoing-
He was, but guess
I'm
what?
just saying,
they got
if-
scared with the heel turn.
but guess what?
Like, shout out to
If
Kazuchika
John
Ono,
Cena-
he explained that. He's like, yo, like, he had a budget to get brand new ring gear to turn heel. But WWE pulled the plug, and then he said, you know what? I have this budget for ring gear. Use it for y'all guys. So
garbage.
John Cena tried to change his ring gear.
No,
But-
well, okay. John Cena's ring gear.
You gotta talk to the mic.
So one of the biggest things is I can see why you complain about John Cena's ring because it's not traditional. That's one.
I just want to see him in like some cool shit.
Hold on.
Go ahead, I got
It's not traditional. When Homie did have ring gear,
He looked trash.
shit was horrible.
Trash.
Shit was horrible.
It was
No,
his
it wasn't
first thing.
It was his first thing, but the thing about it,
looked weird.
The thing about it,
totally
he didn't
weird.
stand out.
At all.
He didn't stand out. He didn't
He was very close to Randall when he was in OVW.
because you also got to understand John Cena's physical look is very generic.
Of course.
He's a strong white boy,
Yep.
and that's like 90% of wrestling.
Facts.
So,
So
how are you gonna stand out?
Hey.
No, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Homie needs to stand out. And the reason why it works even more because of the bright colors he got. Kids love that shit.
And he evolved his look. Like he went from the jersey.
Yo, and nobody can sit here and say you wasn't fucking with Cena when he had on jerseys. And he was. And when I tell you they did the MTV Cribs type of shit, and you saw in his closet the entire catalog of jerseys he had. That nigga not once did he wear the same. He didn't wear the same jersey twice.
And his shirt game over the years.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm saying he could do them same colors.
John Cena like this on the shirt.
He could do the same colors. He could do all that same stuff in some traditional wrestling.
But it goes with the gimmick.
Hold on, but so just so that we're clear, what to you is traditional ring gear?
Exactly.
Traditional, like
probably some wax stuff.
Well, of course,
shorts.
Poop shorts.
Yo, this is crazy because it's the one time we all are like, you are the enemy. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I get it.
We never agree with some
booty shorts and some boots. It's fine.
He want to see a singlet.
Not for the sake of that, but just if you gonna be a wrestler, the 04 corny Vanilla Ice white boy looking shit. I can't do that no more.
But that was John's. But that was him.
Yeah, it was.
But the look did evolve though.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, with the only difference is he don't have a flat top no more. Now he has a fucking soccer mom bowl cut.
Let's break it down, John Cena.
That's wild because definitely elevated.
He went from the baseball shirts, like with the
jerseys,
with his chest all out, with the
actually no, wait, take it back because he did, like Sir Wilkins said, he did have on shorts. He did have on shorts in the beginning. When he came out, when his debut match, he came out with shorts. With the shorts. When he came out and wrestled Kurt Angle, he had on shorts. Shorts similar to what I have on right now. He had on shorts.
But the thing is,
traditional
after that, that's.
But traditional didn't get him over though.
Exactly.
That's what we're trying to say.
His personality can get him over.
Let's backtrack this.
No, but like the ring gear, what you wear like completes the thing. Like not for nothing, if Macho didn't come out with the gear he had on, it wouldn't have been the same vibe. It's the same.
Gear,
no, but it's the same thing like Ric Flair and the fucking robes. If Ric Flair didn't have the fucking robes, you would be like, what the fuck is going on here?
Look at Dolph. In the Spirit Squad, he didn't stand out. Dolph came back. Right. He was Dolph.
Dolph with the blowout is everything.
Dyed his hair black. I don't know if his hair's really black though. Is it really black?
I don't know.
Like he dyed his hair black and got traditional ring gear. And what happened?
Hair.
He looked like Randy Orton's brother. He was. When Dolph dyed his hair and went traditional ring gear, he did not stand. He was boring.
But think about it. Okay. I think you want him to be more creative. Let's just break it down. Break it down.
Maybe it's just me.
Wrestling is a sport, yes, but it's also entertainment. So pageantry is 100% important when it comes to that.
Right.
So I see what you're saying. You want traditional ring gear because it's a traditional sport.
He's a wrestler.
And you want him to look like a wrestler.
Right.
But
the rapper shit's dead.
The rapper shit is dead, but it's not dead.
It's not.
And the thing about it, he doesn't rap anymore.
But he does promos.
But he does promo. But the thing about it, that's who he is. And if he were to turn heel, it would be a different thing. Like my brother said, it would be different than then you switch it up. But you're one of the biggest baby faces of all time.
Right.
So I need you got to stick to this formula because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And guess what? If you want to be John Cena for Christmas, what do? You wear shorts and you wear a colorful shirt.
No, but he spoke about that because it was either him who spoke about it or somebody else spoke about that. Where because the thing is, what you want as a wrestler and as a company is branding.
Facts.
So if I have a kid and he's like, I want to be John Cena for Halloween, I'm gonna buy a John Cena T-shirt, get some jeans, put the hat on, take a picture with it, post it online.
Have a chain, say I'm John Cena.
Post it online and be like, yo, # John Cena. Then somebody's gonna see this and be like, there's so much bigger nuances that go along with it. Right. Like I dressed up as Ric Flair. I had the robe on, had the white hair. And that's just marketing at that point. But I see what you're saying. The tradition is what you want a traditional sport, because I get mad at certain things that's not tradition of what I think. Like when a guy is like 5'1" and he's going to get over a big ass dude, that's the game switched up.
It's fine, but it just has to be like a climb to that. It can't just be first match out the gate, regardless of who popular this motherfucker is.
However,
if he's 5 foot nothing.
But I get what you're. I get what you're. The traditional part of.
And standing out, like.
But John Cena definitely evolved.
But guys need to evolve to look
he's
to stand
evolved.
out.
He went from jean shorts to khaki shorts. What an evolution. Okay.
That is though.
That is. Guess what? His attitude changed up. His ability changed up. Literally, like.
And then when he switched up and started doing mad different colors of his shirt, it was like, yo.
If you compare 8-bit John Cena's shirt
about them shirts
era to like John Cena John Cena with the dad.
I have no issue with John Cena as a man, and I have no issue with John Cena as a star overall and as a person. Let's just get that out the air. I'm just a wrestling fan venting about wrestling shit. This is no shade to John Anthony Felix Cena as a person, just off top. So. Anyway.
No, you're right. We get it, and we're gonna. I guess we should move on.
We should. Wait, he still has his down.
But anyway, my down was that whack ass eye for an eye shit. I love both Seth and Ray, and they could have just had a solid match. We didn't need that whack shit. Actually, my down is the whole theme of the show to begin with. The horror show at Extreme Rules. What are we, fucking 12? Is this Fright Fest?
They did say that last year, though. People remember, though. They did say that Extreme Rules going to have a theme.
Yo, I love when people shit on the certain things because not for nothing, I look back, like people were shitting on Great Balls of Fire. People shitted on it.
But that was one of the great
and it was one of the best pay-per-views of that year.
Was.
Like,
it really was.
That shit aggravates me. Like, for the longest, I was like, yo, when can you remember fucking Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar? Please.
That was a good match.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to people back in the day that made fun of the name In Your House.
In Your Word. People shitted on In Your House
iconic.
for years.
What do you mean In Your House? Is that In Your House?
and then when niggas got creative and they was like,
In Your House.
Degeneration X or Mind Games or was it Canadian Stampede or some shit like
NXT revising the name, bringing it back and turning it into
themes are dope.
Yeah, but that theme just that shit sucks.
Or like one of the best one, like people hated Bray. Oh, what are you doing, Bray, with the Funhouse? It's trash. I said,
who hated Bray?
Mad people hated it.
I'm like, because everybody on my side thought
I said this.
Brilliant.
Give it a chance. Now everybody loves Bray and Funhouse. I said this. I said, yo, listen. I'll say, yo, listen, give these people a chance just to see what they got. Like Bray. What else? Drew, Drew's getting buried. Da-da-da-da-da. Now look, he became champion.
Yeah.
Gotta give stuff time.
Like, I'm okay with Bray being Bray without the Fiend. I'm cool with just the Firefly Funhouse. I grew up like many of us on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I think it's a sadistic Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood joint. And
shout out to Mr. Rogers.
Hey,
R.I.P. to my white dad.
Fred Rogers, man.
Anyway, real quick, Extreme Rules. As Sir Wilkins mentioned, I definitely thought the Swamp match, because there's no bell, there's no nothing, but the Swamp event, I think it was a little too fast for me. I thoroughly, though, enjoyed the build-up to it now. Them probably going to do Braun versus The Fiend. And that's what I'm saying. Like, my words per se, if fucking Braun Strowman shows up on SmackDown this week, that shit is trash.
The whole shit.
It means nothing. Like, Extreme Rules means absolutely nothing.
It was a horrible show at Extreme Rules.
Best thing, though, let's see. I mean, definitely the women's match. The ending of it. I think, once again, it made you want to tune in to Raw this week. So that was pretty good. So let's talk about our topic of this week, which is five-time champion
sucker
Booker T. Even though I feel like, Uncle Stevie is a friend of the podcast, so I would choose Stevie Ray in a heartbeat. But anyway,
an old ass man.
So I mean, wrestling niggas are old. Like, what do you want me to say? Everybody is. Believe it or not, like the fuck. Anyway,
you call me old all the time.
Yeah,
I have all of 2 years on you, maybe.
That's old as fuck. So Booker T this week spoke about Naomi's hashtag. So everyone that is not in the known,
Naomi deserves better.
Naomi versus Lacey Evans happened this past week on SmackDown, and Lacey won, and people felt like, once again, we put Naomi on TV on a platform and nothing comes out of it. So they started, social media is a hell of a drug. There was a hashtag, Naomi deserves better. And we'll all have our moment to just give our little 2 cents in on our opinions on the hashtag. But Sir Wilkins will be playing exactly word for word of what Booker T said, and then
give Naomi. Naomi deserves a chance.
Right.
They could go to hell with all these hashtags, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm tired of hearing about them. As far as you don't nobody deserve a chance. All right. First and foremost, you got to earn your chance, your spot on the roster. This is not some kind of movement to just pull somebody up just because. I hate to sit here and say this, you know what I mean, and talk this way because I like Naomi. But as far as, you know, the business goes, you get it on your merit alone. That's it. It's no buddy systems. And I know somebody's going to hear me and go, well, such and such got a buddy. Right.
You saw.
So that was a part of what he said. He said it's not based on people giving you a shot. It's on merit. And it kind of got, you know, the wrestling community kind of shaken up a bit. You got some people that agree with good old Book. You got some people that's like, what the fuck is he talking about? So I'll let Sir Wilkins go first. What are your thoughts on Booker T's statement? And do you believe that opportunities and chances are on merit, or, you know, does giving someone an opportunity take away from that?
First things first, Booker didn't get the hashtag right. Because he said Naomi deserves a chance. So in his head, he's thinking something completely different.
Right.
Because the hashtag was Naomi deserves better. Mm-hmm. So he's already seeing it differently.
Correct.
But we'll pretend that Booker understood what the hashtag meant. We'll play it on that one.
We'll assume that. That's
he
fine.
also said something else. My brother posted on Facebook where he also talked about Naomi needs she's the most athletic person on the roster, and that she's probably better than 90% of the women on the roster, athletic wise. But said that there's a difference between working and psychology. So you're probably thinking, what's the difference? Working means doing the moves, getting doing what you need to do, a couple of high spots, whatever. That's working. Psychology, ring psychology, because I speak about that a lot, especially on last episode. If you heard it, Lost Tapes.
We should have a section for that.
Full disclosure, I was here for that.
It's different because you're doing little nuances throughout the match to look like a heel, to look like a good, like a baby face.
Right.
So he spoke about that. He needs to her and him needs to do some work. So a lot of people didn't hear that part of the clip because media works things in any type of way.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go for the negative shit
the
first.
narrative is thing
all the time.
So there's a couple of things, and you guys are welcome to join in on what I say because my whole thing is it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Let's look at the company side.
Okay.
First things first, the fans make the superstars. It was a hashtag that got good old Becky Lynch to jumpstart her career. A lot of people don't talk about that. If you watch her 24, she mentions that in the beginning, how she was backstage eating catering, but she was doing her thing backstage, putting out videos. Then her Twitter hashtag started people started talking about her on Twitter. That led to her getting some more TV time. Because she was like the lost of the Four Horsemen.
Exactly. I remember that.
So she did her part. The company did their part.
Yeah.
But like, oh shit, we're seeing something here. Fans want to fuck with you. There might be some money here. Let's put you on.
Meet in the middle.
Let's meet in the middle, and that's the key word here is meeting people in the middle. Now, and I'm gonna use Becky as a prime example because once again, she was the lost one of the Four Horsewomen.
Facts.
I mention this story all the time. It was SummerSlam, Barclays Center. She loses. She lost, right? Yeah. She's on Raw the next day. Fans are cheering for her. She's supposed to be the heel. What happens after that?
You talking about when it was her and Charlotte?
But what happens after that?
The man was born.
The man is slowly being born.
Yes, indeed.
Process starts happening. And she gets punched in the nose.
By Nia.
I wonder
if she ever thanked her for that.
No, but I think shit blows blows up.
And because her mannerism not there, she was just like.
But that's her part. That's her part. That's her part. Company says see something and they do it. Now when it comes to Naomi, Naomi's low-key decorated. But I say low-key as a key word. I think she has 2 title reigns.
She's 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion.
But
she won the first ever WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal that she never got anything off of.
But the thing,
I'll get into that when it's my
Baron
turn.
Get nothing off of that.
But
Cesaro get nothing off
no,
of that.
and Baron got King of the Ring, but
And
Baron
that's
also has
the
some
issue.
backstage shit.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about how that. If you want to say that she didn't get nothing from that, look at the other winners.
Yeah, and that's the.
Yeah.
But it's the same energy. It's the same thing.
But the thing is, so Booker T saying give Naomi a chance. Naomi has gotten chances. Whatever bullshit chicken shit that they give her, she's done stuff with it.
Yeah, she's made it work.
She's made it work.
Remember Team BAD?
Yeah, she made whatever they give her work.
Yeah.
Now when I think the hashtag is more she deserves better. She needs more legitimate storylines.
More TV time.
More TV time, but TV's limited. TV time is limited.
And not even TV time, just storyline.
And the women's division, sadly, when it comes to the main roster, is top heavy. These girls work, and that's it. There's no middle ground in the women's division.
Correct.
So if you're not in the title picture, you're not doing anything.
That's true.
So it's the company's not meeting halfway.
And I think what they thought, and I always said this, I think what they thought what the solution of that would have been was to do the tag team titles, but I always said they don't have enough bodies for that.
Funny thing, AEW's getting their own women's tag team title.
Yes, they are. They got a tag team.
But and once again, it's the same thing. Like, you want to be able to make sure your top division is solid before you enter a fucking tag team division.
But it's also the conversation goes. This is my biggest issue.
Because Impact said the same thing on Tuesday because they were like, because it was the match with Kiera and Tasha, shout out to Tosh, versus Havoc and Nevaeh. And Madison Rain said, oh, remember when, because you big on TNA shit, she said, remember when we used to have the women's tag titles at Impact? Maybe we should bring that back because these women as tag teams, she was like, Kiera and Tasha as tag team champions would be so great. And I was like, are all of these people about to get up on this? And it doesn't work for everybody, though, too.
I understand that, but again, it's a shockwave in the industry. More opportunities for women.
It's more opportunities for women. But the thing about it, women's wrestling doesn't have a middle division. Nowhere.
Exactly.
And no, hold on. The only place that has is NXT. NXT will have
I don't know how they figure that out.
3 women's matches. They'll have their legit championship match. Then they have some other thing going on.
Like, know who will be a mid card on the NXT women's division? What's old girl named Aaliyah?
Yeah,
like, she will be.
But the thing is, what I'm trying to say with this whole thing, why I'm a little mad at Booker. Booker's doing his job.
Facts.
You're a journalist, and the thing about it, when you were doing journalist type of shit, how do you get more people to react? You go against the grain.
Controversial opinion.
You go against the grain. He didn't say anything real controversial, but it's going against the grain. And I see people that are listening, the black people that are listening, I'm gonna go into it a little bit deeper. The problem is Booker's a black man.
Yeah.
Opportunities within the wrestling culture is very limited for black people.
Facts.
So Booker, the way that Booker came off, it was like
the tone.
You're diminishing the whole thing. But the thing about he didn't fully understand. He said, "Give her a chance." No, nigga, she deserves better.
Exactly.
Better. She deserves better. That's what they're trying to say. Now, is Naomi perfect? No. I do believe there's certain things she does need to work on. I'm not gonna say that because I'm not gonna trash this on here right now. It's more about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So one of the other things is Booker was trying to say, oh, she has to get shit on her own merit. To answer your question that you initially talked about, merit is one thing in the wrestling industry, but it's mad politics.
Yeah.
It's OD politics.
No different from the music business.
It's entertainment.
Yeah, it's about politics everywhere.
Politics is
even at work.
You work for the post office. There's politics there.
It's politics in the podcast world.
There's politics everywhere. It's maneuvering. But a lot of these old heads, and this is my issue. You guys ain't teaching the young bucks the politics of the game.
That's fact.
And hold on. Remember I said meet in the middle? A lot of the young bucks don't want to learn the politics of the game.
That's true too.
And I always go back to Shad and JTG's interview. They're like, yo, if we had moved a little bit differently, things would have been done.
It would have been done differently.
But the thing is, some people are gonna argue with me and say, no, change the shit, change the guard. Yes. But how do you change the guard? You get into the room. The Trojan War. I'm going to pretend to move like this. That's 48 laws of power. That's maneuvering. That's politicking. And I'm going to get into the room and start changing shit. One of the things after we watched Extreme Rules, we watched the whole Undertaker thing, right?
Oh, Tales from the Dead Man.
Mm-hmm. And there's one thing that stood out to me.
What's that?
Xavier Woods gave
Undertaker the gavel.
A gavel.
Oh yeah,
a signed gavel, whatever. It has Undertaker's name on it.
Yeah, had Judge Taker on it.
Mm-hmm. That is important as fuck. Mm-hmm. Why is that important? Undertaker's the top dude there. Yeah. Undertaker is God in the locker room.
Yes, he is.
So how am I gonna maneuver? I'm gonna take care of Undertaker. I'm gonna get under Undertaker and talk to him about certain things that need to be done.
Yeah.
We don't teach them that.
Yeah.
And the thing about the Young Bucks don't want to learn that. Everybody's like, nah, fuck that, fuck that.
Lot of ignorance in the locker room.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Get in position.
Right.
To change it.
Exactly.
So Leo, I'm gonna go back to Leo, ACH. They are perfectly right for what they said about the situation. Mm-hmm. But you got to handle it differently.
Exactly.
Because we're not in power. Yeah. None of us are in power in the industry.
Trying to tell people that.
So how do we get in positions of power? We become producers. MVP is a producer. Got a word in the dish, and he know what he's doing. That's why I fuck with MVP.
Yes.
He's taking care of the people. Because when's the last time Shelton Benjamin was on TV?
It had a fucking title.
Man,
and doing something relevant.
Shout out to MVP for busting that move.
Had a fucking title.
Say what y'all want to about the Hurt Business gimmick. I'm liking this.
I don't like the title. I like the name.
The name sucks.
The name trash. Name is trash.
But
super
That
trash.
you always talk about.
Name dope.
No, it's not.
Doing your own thing. So MVP is like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna grab my people. I fucks with Shell because he's always posting pictures of Shell because him and Shell are friends.
Yeah. They really.
So that's my thing.
They were teammates in Japan.
Booker, you got pulled.
Yeah, he got pulled. He had a whole school.
So if you feel that Naomi is 95% and you said what you said about but don't blast her on shit like nah. Yeah. Like you know what? I'm gonna call her up. Like let's make some money.
Yeah.
Because Booker, we're gonna keep it a whole ass buck. The only reason why you got that title. Well, what did we talk about a couple weeks ago? The racism lawsuit against WCW.
Yeah. And that was the very end. And see that was my issue with his comment. It really was the tone of it, but it was just like, Book, you gonna sit here and act like you wasn't given an opportunity?
Again, okay, fine. Let me say my piece on it. Let's backtrack a lot. Let's backtrack it. Yes, WCW did give him an opportunity, right? But Vince Russo could go to bat and said, look at Booker T history. Vince Russo could bring up tapes that said, look at this match to back up his decision. Mm-hmm. And he was 5-time champion. And he was the last U.S. champion underneath the WCW banner before the WWE. Mm-hmm. So not only like he gave an opportunity, it's like saying that if I give you a position at my job, it's up to you to keep that job. Right. It's not up to me no more. It's up to you. So whatever you do with that opportunity, it's up to you.
And this is something that I'm sure he teaches his students over at ROW.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, I watch the weekly shows. I watch the weekly reality of wrestling.
Yes. And look at some of the students who came out there. Shout out to Tyree from Prolific.
I put him second to MLW.
The way that Tyree moves,
because he's very vocal about black things.
Look at Tyree, how he moves within the industry, how he moves, how he positions himself. You can tell that this man knows something. And him partnering up with Prolific, you see how you see how them two move. You see how Marquis move after they connected. Marcus Marquis. My fault, King. Shout out to Isaiah Wolf. You see how them two, once incorporated him to the group, how they evolved and it became more militant. They move smarter. Because Tyree comes from a good lineage. That's what I'm talking about. What your tree produce. What fruits you get out of it. Shout out to the Bible where Jesus talks about that. Where he says that what do your fig tree produce?
Why not?
The fruits that you produce. So he teaches something good. Look at the Usos, how they move with their lineage. Look at Aaron Mahmood, how she moves. So Book is teaching people something over there.
Two people that came out of Booker T's school.
What it is, I think what a lot of people are mad about is that it's family business.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But listen, calling him a coon on Nets is just two things that stood out to me. Calling him a coon because he disagree how she did it. Yes, how he handled it was kind of wrong. But at some point,
it ain't
at least
that deep.
Look, at the same exact token, he put her over. No one listens to that part. Nobody listens to that part. Everybody said, "Oh well, no." He said, "Yo, listen, I'm gonna." Like just like he said that I'm gonna point out your flaws, but at the same time I'm saying that you are better at what you are right now.
But say that to her.
Yeah, I understand that. This is where Booker T went wrong. I agree with you. He should have kept it in the house. Shout out to my homegirl. It's called kitchen talk. He should have left it in the kitchen.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And some people might get offended. He should have never say that to the white gentleman right in front of him. I get that part. He's wrong how he executed his words. A lot of stuff he said doesn't make sense. For example, when Naomi first got her title opportunity, right? She came back with the glow gimmick. She came back, you're like, ooh, okay, this is fire. Got behind her. When she came back recently, no change. She didn't involve that. Now, you're talking about I want to think about Becky Lynch. I'm Becky Lynch, I won't mention her. Now, look at Sasha Banks. When she came back, how she carrying herself, when she went to the ring and stuff like that, different. She got thicker. She put on like muscle. You're like, okay, evolution of character, little twist. Her song, Snoop Dogg is singing it. You feel me? You hear
her
the
family.
difference.
But
difference.
I'll challenge you with this though.
All right.
I'll challenge you, everybody, with this. So she does the glow gimmick, right?
Yeah.
That she fought for years.
I understand.
Hold on. No, you're right. She came through, did her shit. At the end of the day, it's all about money, right?
Yeah.
So why didn't her glow belt go on sale for WWE Shop?
That was fucked up. I just thought about
But why didn't they do that?
And they did it to Daniel Bryan, that fucking wood belt when
sure
Mania was here last year. That fucking
they
wood
gave him
belt
that shit on the action figure.
That shit went for almost $500
That's wow.
during WrestleMania weekend.
You see, that alone is not on her at all.
But that's what I said.
That's what you said with company.
Yeah,
that's the
company needs
side.
to meet her halfway.
They have to
course.
support her because how are you gonna going back to this year's Rumble, regret I didn't go. But going back to this year's Rumble,
Brandon Teague went,
and you have her as a like everybody, hush. Everybody's in talking, chatting, like she may not, you never know. And her pop when the pop she got at the Royal Rumble, and as a company, you didn't piggyback off it and do anything about that. That's a problem.
Look, the company, I'm not disagreeing with that. The company has failed her. The company in general has failed all of black wrestlers in the past.
And that's the system.
Not all,
not
the majority.
All. Yeah.
And
majority.
that's just
a good
the
chunk
system.
of us, they have failed a good chunk of us, right? Cool. Now, I cannot, at the end of the day, we have mad complaints about WWE. Matter of fact, bump that. The wrestling business at a time.
In general, yeah, because you had guys that have been running on the independent scene, tweeting and putting on social media their opinions and stuff, because it's not just a W. That's the thing. No matter what we talk about, it's not just a WWE issue. It's a wrestling issue.
Across the board. And honestly, like we all been saying this, you know what? The old guards gotta leave in wrestling. Seriously.
That's my point. Get in power. Get in powerful positions.
Like you said, to pick back what you said. Matter of fact, before I pick back what you're saying, let's go back to the comment where he said that Booker T and Mark Henry. Matter of fact, I'm into Mark Henry's situation. Booker T don't like black women. When I read that, I was just like,
he's married to a whole black
woman.
woman.
Disrespecting this man because someone put that, right? And I'm looking like, and
black.
Mind you, he said it.
Black. He probably the only nigga with a black wife.
Right. And he said this.
Low key.
He said this. Listen. He said this on his show.
Just gonna throw that on the table. He's probably the only nigga with a black wife.
Only one with a black wife out there. Yeah. So
no, Kofi's wife is black.
Okay, Kofi's wife.
Yeah, but he said this. Charmaine being his queen by his side made the King Booker gimmick stand out.
It really did.
He put her on a pedestal on his show. It's a clip that he talks about that. So if he hates black women, why do Amber Moon always think of other women, black women always think Booker T like, yo, Booker T helped me out, this, that, and third. If he hates black women.
You can't, okay, it comes down to this. And we all know this because we got in trouble with the Tesla situation. We got in trouble with other shit that we say. If you go up against the grain,
It's
you're gonna get heat.
And that's the problem in this world, because not just a black and white issue, because personally,
it's a people issue.
like I have some views where I feel like if I say this out loud, people call me Republican.
Yeah.
People call me a crossover nigga.
Yeah.
People call me a sellout. And I'm looking at people
That's
in faces.
rough.
I'm looking like, yo,
But it is people that will say that
yo.
though.
Crossover nigga. I wouldn't.
yo, people call me at my
That's
face.
bad.
And I look dead in their face. I said, yo, real talk though, son. Are you out here encouraging young men out here to do better? Are you out here encouraging somebody who's in the street? You talk to every single day, say, yo, King, you got this better. You're over here in the streets calling people kings and queens, not doing none of that. Are you supporting black businesses out there? No. You're not doing that crap. But yet, you're so quickly to champion a white person like, yo, he's better than this person. I'm over here fighting for my people out here. I'm doing it every single way I could. Either I was in the church fighting for, like, yo, listen, we got to do better as people, fight for injustice, stuff like that. Mental illness is the big thing. I'm over here making fun of because I'm talking about mental illness. When wasn't cool? Because I realized that in the black community, mental illness is key. I'm fighting for people. But you over here calling me coon? But yet, someone called me a racist saying that just because I don't date outside my race, that I'm a racist. I'm looking like this way. I love my black queens. I love them.
That's just more of a preference.
But it does not matter. But if I see somebody with a Goya queen, yo, I see you out there, King. She makes you happy. That's what's up, though. You feel me?
There's some attractive white women out here.
You feel me? Like, if you're out here with saltless chicken queens, all right, that's what you want. That's what you want. I don't care.
But I think what it really comes down to is it's
black.
It's
thank you.
No, it's really what it is that you want to see a talent get elevated. So hold on. But everybody's saying all of this, blah, blah, blah. But the hashtag has come and gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Why isn't it still going?
Exactly.
Because as much as people say WWE doesn't listen, they listen.
They really do listen. Listening to this shit.
So do they fail? Yes. You're in music, and you know about the music industry. Somebody will be hot. Funny thing, I was watching this video on how record labels fail artists.
Black or white.
Black or white. They just fail artists in general. And I always compare wrestlers to rappers.
Yeah. I say the wrestling business and the music business it's literally mirror images of each other.
So if you keep saying like, why isn't this rapper bigger? Buy their music.
Yes.
Buy their music, support them.
Because it ain't enough of y'all
so if you want
that
Naomi to do better, to get better,
buy her merch, repost
it's
shit when she does.
Buy her merch.
It's the same. Shout outs, and I have a love hate for Mustafa Ali, but shout outs to I will respect the man for tweeting saying like, listen, buy my shirt while I'm hot.
He sure did say that.
Like
he
help,
said that
like
blatantly.
help a brother out.
Help someone out. Shout out my son, like KJ Clement, with his new single out right now. It's fire. That's my son from Jersey.
No, I know.
Yeah, and guess what? I'm shouting out because like he's good. I stream his music all the time, make sure he gets his numbers. So,
but
like you
but
said,
that's it.
You're supporting the people that you love.
It has to be. It has to like when it boils down to it has to be a middle. It has to come to a middle ground.
Yes.
It has to be where you have to. Whereas us as people, we have to support each other, and
we do.
And that's we do. But not everybody else does. Because when we sat here and we said, yo, we're going to go down to North Carolina and we're going to go support and it's going to be a Black Lives Matter event or something or any of that sense. And you have people that will look at us being like, but why? Like, what do you mean? And it's like, no, if we're not the catalyst or if we're not the at the forefront of the change, then the change will never happen.
Like,
and that's really what the issue is.
I'm tired
and just not even, and it goes beyond wrestling.
Adding to that, like be the change that you want to see. You mentioned.
I'm sick and tired of people on the internet who have platforms like us, but yet y'all don't interview none of the black superstars. You know, black wrestlers. Y'all don't interview them. I don't see that in these shows supporting these black wrestlers at all. You feel me? You don't buy their merch, none of that. The same exact way that you can talk bad about them, put out any little flaws, support them. I don't see you putting black wrestlers say, yo, this is my MC, this is my WCW. A lot of y'all not doing that.
WWE Shop does a sale every fucking event. There's no reason why you shouldn't have two or three.
It's cool. Yeah. The hashtag was trending because it was cool to talk about it.
And that was Booker T's point. Like, I know he didn't exactly quote the hashtag correctly, but he like, man, fuck all this hashtags and all that other shit. He say, man, y'all just on some trendy shit. That's cool. He basically was saying in so many words. It's like I related what he said, you know, to like, let's say I have a child, and well, if I had a child, I don't have a child, but let's say I had a child, and my child is getting mad reckless out in the streets. In this is much different. It's a much different era than the 90s, so I can't like snatch him up in public while he acting reckless. But trust and believe, when we get to the crib, we gonna have that 5-minute conversation. So I didn't necessarily agree with the way that Booker T said it, but I understand why he said it, and also I agree on the side of Book. If if you're paying attention, you could really see that this might be a thing, and talk to some of your people. Back there, and you supposed to be able to like pull it to the side, bro. You have a whole wrestling school and wrestling promotion. We spoke on the Usos. We spoke on Ember Moon earlier. These are all alumni of Booker T's wrestling school. Yeah. And I can't say much about Ember, but Usos definitely a successful tag team. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see Ember, in more, but I'm sure
she's injured.
Outside
that actually might be a wrap.
Yeah. But let me
that's the bad part.
I know we have to go soon, but let me finish off with something that you mentioned the Usos.
Yes, indeed.
Look at the lineage behind the Usos.
That's true also.
Okay, fine.
No, hold on. No. It's important. It's important. It's important. The reason why I'm saying that, because what you said, those two are that Samoan whole dynasty thing is important. Why is it important? Because they teach the kids young how the business is run.
Yeah. Very young.
So
a big problem in black communities is they don't teach that shit.
But we haven't established ourselves in the wrestling community yet.
Not fully.
So that's the biggest thing that comes out of this whole conversation.
Exactly.
Is the guys who've been through it teach the young guys about it, and the young guys need to accept to learn.
But then again, it's kind of like, I'll give you like a story, right? When I was in church with her, right? There's always like a big gap between us and the older guys, right? Until one day I got tired of one of them. I was just like, man, we didn't actually be crack babies. Y'all did the crack, all right? Y'all messed it up. Y'all messed up the world. Now we got to grow up and fix the world behind y'all. A lot of older heads have this idea where a lot of our parents do is like, you go to work, put your head down, and you like eventually you'll climb to the top, right? That's how a lot of them then think.
Yeah.
A lot of us, sadly think that everything is handed to us. The world is giving us at a silver platter. Because a lot of us grew up in the whole atmosphere like participation trophies. Hey, yours on the team, you get a trophy too. No, you do not get a trophy. Because y'all came in second and we beat y'all 50-1. No, we're not getting no damn trophy. So it's a whole like you see difference of generation. And a lot of older heads don't know how to talk to the new generation. They do not. So again, this is where shout out to J. Cole. This is where like you need a lot of the middle ground people. Like this is why the Kofi is important. Because someone like a Kofi could important because he come from the both generation, the middle child, from the old school and the new school.
11 years
right?
in.
Right. Shout out to a Shelton Benjamin. Shout out to MVP. Yeah. MVP
Ghost
is basically what Leo Rush was supposed to be for Bobby Lashley. But MVP has a lot more. He understands the game a lot better because he's more open-minded to it. Yes, like my brother said, he infiltrated it, and then now he able to now look what he did. He saw Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, right? He brought them into the fold, having a feud with them. Right. I like that. Because he see the bigger picture.
Once you get your key in the door, while you in there, just
because while they're in there, they do have a Jason Jordan in there too. They do have a Bubba Ray Dudley. I mean, like a Devon Dudley. Yeah. They do have a Devon Dudley in there. But those are two different types of black people. Now having MVP from the streets, a dude that's been in jail, who held up a cruise, who understands that.
So did Booker. So there's no excuse.
Booker T held up at Wendy's.
Held up at Wendy's.
Held up in Wendy's. My son was on some like Ocean 11.
Crimes are crimes.
Nah, B. Which one?
Jail is jail.
Which one?
Like,
people die.
Nah,
B. People die over double stacks every day, B.
But which one?
Jail is jail.
Which one makes a better movie? Yo,
no, but he
at Wendy's or my son went on a cruise.
Shit, it depends on what happened after the Wendy's.
No, but the thing about they did the same thing though. Because
armed robbery
hold on.
Armed fucking robbery.
Booker dressed up as a guy from Wendy's to try to rob the place.
Damn.
So that was a mini Ocean 11.
That's smart.
Because he used to work there, so he worked there. Then he came in his uniform.
Damn.
And he pulled it off.
But nevertheless, the reason it is off though. Like it's just like that's why like MVP is different because MVP got raised differently than Booker T. You feel me? You can tell the way that them two both dress. Yes, they come from the same era, but it's different way how they brought up. You feel me?
MVP still younger.
Exactly. So that's why I feel like, yo, you do need more people who understand them on the middle ground.
You need
those middle children to understand for both generations.
I feel like somebody should enter We Are the World.
So we do need more people at the table. You understand?
We are the world.
We do need more of us out there. And this is why, honestly, this is why black podcasts are important because to get the black voices out there.
Absolutely.
You know, shout out to Prolific, shout out to Leo Rush, shout out to like RIP Chad, shout out to shout out
I'm
to
wearing his shirt today.
Shout out to my son JTG, shout out to like all these guys at black wrestlers. Shout out to Tasha Steele.
Yo, every fucking week, I swear, every fucking week on Impact, I get hype. I'm like, yo, sis on TV.
Shout out to Faye Jackson.
Faye Jackson.
Low.
The real thick mama puff.
Low.
The real thick mama puff.
Yeah, because that other one is a joke.
Low.
But anyway, because we've got about 5 minutes left, and I want everyone to talk about something this week in wrestling. Real quick though, and to end off the whole Booker thing, my main issue is I don't want Booker T to be ignorant to the fact of how powerful social media can be. So that was kind of my issue with it. It was the whole
old nigga shit.
It's like you showed your age, my nigga. Like, because at the end of the day. And you used Becky as the example. One of the biggest examples, no bullshit, was Daniel fucking Bryan. Yes movement wouldn't have been shit without social media. People forget about that.
What about Kofi though?
Kofi's a whole different. That's a level unlocked. You know what I mean?
Kofi did something little that was unscripted though, just like Becky. He said, man, unscripted, against AJ Styles. He said this, yo, I've been for 11 years, B. I ain't gonna quit.
He said, I ain't going nowhere.
Make the bigger picture.
But my issue, that's what I wasn't mad at the merit thing because I get you want to be able to have, you want to have the shit to back up your shit. Mm-hmm. Like I get that. But at the end of the day, I just don't want Booker T as someone that's, I guess in a sense old to the game. Don't be ignorant to the fact of how powerful social media and how powerful your platform is because
never underestimate that power.
because of what you said on the interwebs. Guess what, my nigga? We talking about it, and somebody else is talking about it, and somebody else is talking about it. So don't sit here and just be like, well, fuck that hashtag shit. Nah, my nigga. That hashtag shit is real, and you need to be very understanding of how powerful that can be.
Absolutely.
So to end that off, we'll go around real quick, and talk about 1 to 2 things maximum. You got less than 60 seconds to talk about it. Things that hit you up, down, doesn't matter this week in wrestling. It can be anything. So I'll start off with our guest, G1 to the rescue. 1 thing or 2, I'll give you one of the possible, like we playing spades.
Okay.
That stuck out to you the most this week in wrestling.
I dug Killian Dane versus I want to call him Samuel Shaw so bad. Dexter Loomis. Yo, that's why I said I want to call him Samuel Shaw so bad because that was his name. No, I was excited when I seen that match was gonna be on the card the following week and just seeing them two go at it. I'm really invested in Dexter over here in NXT. He's a vibe, like for real. He's super dope. Always been a Killian Dane fan. I just thought that whole dynamic was really cool. I see how they trying to set up, Karrion Kross and Keith Lee to go at it again at some point, and that's just gonna be a really solid thing. Love NXT for that. Again, the Good Brothers being part of Impact as Impact are starting to kind of starting to kind of elevate their tag team division, man, and it's just about time for that. And I feel like they have a solid. They so far have one of the most solid rosters, around. There was some things, of course, I always appreciate on AEW. Jericho doing his commentary. And just them, putting on the best show they possibly can. It was this particular week in wrestling has just been way more ups than it was downs, with the exception of a couple of minor things. But no, that's my two
bum ass Eddie Edwards, Mr.
Yeah.
Oh man, a lot of
not necessarily him.
Not
but
a lot
his
of
ring
stuff, but a few stuff.
I say
I let him go because he's the guest of the show this week.
Shout out to my first thing is shout out to my son, exactly. Sammy Guevara, coming back.
He's back.
Yo.
Yeah,
man.
Somebody posted was like, I miss Spanish God. I was like, the fuck are you talking about?
I miss him because he completed the group.
He gives the young vibe to the group. Even though I already disagree with the fucking inner circle whole concept, but he gives the young vibe to the inner circle.
I bounce off everybody and I miss him. I popped when I saw him. I was like, yes, Sammy back. Another up is honestly, Impact. In general, their whole women's division, because I always say this, when one company does something great, it echoes throughout the whole industry. Now I get to see different women tag scene. Like, shout out to Diamante on AEW. Oh,
again.
my gosh.
Yeah, doing a third dizzle. Super dope.
She was on back in January or something.
I don't know, but she's officially signed, and she had a woman's opportunity, a woman's shot next week. Yo, Diamante. Yo.
So she officially signed to AEW?
Yeah. She got one. Whoever don't know Diamante, watch her on Battle Club. Watch her come back from an injury. Kept on evolving to herself. That match she had on AEW.
She's Cuzzo.
AEW was
Fellow
great.
Cubana.
I'm looking forward to when her and Big Swole go at it, because one thing that I kind of miss that Google would kind of do is imagine Big Swole and Tasha Steelz as a tag team AEW going through a whole division.
Well, they have to do our match first before they can do a tag team. But anyway.
They did have a tag team. Shout out to Warriors in Wrestling.
No, I know, but I'm just saying they need to do our main event first before anything else. Anything else real quick?
That's it.
All right. So Wilkins, real quick. Anything that caught you by surprise or was like, oh,
Eddie
shit?
Kingston?
Let's talk about Eddie Kingston
She's
real quick. Shout out to Eddie Kingston. He's one of the few OGs that does not always get the credit that he deserves. Yeah. And I felt like, and it was a conversation I had with Sir Wilkins, where the way it wasn't that he lost that fucked me up, it was the way that he lost.
Yeah, I didn't like
and that. It was the fact that the beauty about him popping up was, if you go back, GCW did a show back July 4th weekend, and Eddie Kingston pulled the ultimate heel cut shoot promo, actually trying to call out Cody. So in me knowing that already and him popping up, I was hype. But the way that shit ended, bro, you deserve hashtag you deserve better. Anything else?
There's reasons behind it, but I'm not gonna.
We'll talk about it.
Talk about it another time. But that was basically it, because my biggest thing for Eddie, it gave him a spotlight. I was really annoyed with JR's commentating
because he always buries people.
I didn't like that,
because he kept mentioning his weight.
Yeah.
Throughout the match, and I was like, "Yo," he's like, "Yeah, he's losing weight." I'm like, "Why you keep saying this?"
Now I'm focused, and that's the only thing I'm looking at.
So why you keep saying that? But JR is JR. But
JR be big. That's
probably one of my big. Oh no, my biggest thing was mad people of color on Raw.
Hashtag Raw is black.
And that was awesome. And if you missed Raw, it was 6-man tag: Mufasa Ali, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander versus MVP Shelton Benjamin,
new 24/7 champion,
and
that shit is the name is
and Bobby Lashley.
They gotta go back to the drawing board with that name.
It was wrong with the name.
It was awesome. I enjoyed seeing. I just enjoyed seeing like, yo, these some brothers and
talented.
Like people of color on Raw. Like this is awesome. This is good to see this, and it was a good match. Like, you couldn't say it was a bad match either. It was a really good match.
They put on each other over great.
They all got their times on the mic. Mufasa got his little pop back. Shout out to Mufasa Ali for being on Raw Talk, and he spoke about
that's an ally right there.
The racism in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And he really broke it down. If you haven't seen it, check out the Jabba Tears podcast Instagram page.
Ally.
And he really he broke it down.
That's how you be an ally.
We're gonna put that in the shirt. Real quick. Actually, my comments are gonna be. It's oddly enough, I love the fact everybody was in a hoopah about Keith Lee relinquishing the NXT title, but guess what? It had to happen. It's better that way than him losing it and then diminishing his actual NXT title reign. It wouldn't. It doesn't make sense.
Stop being greedy.
However,
give to the needy. Shout out to X.
Really? Oh, shout out to the verses the other night was really good.
You said I did that right
but
there.
I love the fact that they turn. You know, instead of. I love the fact when NXT. Shout out to Nick. I love when NXT turns things into a tournament because then it makes it more interesting and it builds. And you get to see more talent. So the fact that they turn it into basically a 5-week tournament where it will be now a ladder match at NXT
next week.
TakeOver 30. It's not a ladder match, but it's Dexter Lumis versus Finn Balor versus
5-week tournament.
Thatcher. Yeah, because it'll all lead up into TakeOver 30.
So people are getting angry.
People are going to be in their feelings,
Keith Lee
and that's
said
fine.
on some real old school, because Ultimate just dropped. No, I'm going to say this. He literally is in history as being the first ever double champion in NXT, U.S. and you was U.S. champion. I mean, sorry, basically U.S. champion.
North America doesn't include Canada.
Oh, yeah, whole thing.
You know,
you basically
fine.
North American champion and world champion at the same exact time, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then being the babyface, that's how my brother, we will be talking about adding layers to your character. Him being babyface, he said, yo, I'm not going to hold up his title because it's selfish, so let me give it to someone else. 8 weeks of television, of you having tournaments, many different guys to show out their different technique.
Yeah, it's going to be dope.
Was it like a rating pop? Yes. But at the end of the day,
he made history, and you can't take that away.
And now he's making more history having a tournament because he want everyone to eat.
So Keith Lee,
are so ignorant.
It's what it is.
Everyone
but the NXT North American title tournament is going to be dope. So looking forward to that. The other two things before we do sign off, shout outs to fucking Ricky Starks.
Ooh,
and you know what?
People, crew.
I'm telling you, that's as much as you know, Team Like, that's somebody you got to watch. And I like the fact that they paired him with Taz. And hopefully that's done right. And then the last thing is still an AEW thing, oddly enough. I fucking love the Dark Order. Fuck what anyone else is saying. The Dark Order shit. And the fact that, fucking, because he's still going to be Luke Harper to me. The fact that Luke Harper can get Colt Cabana's ass under his wing and then have him kind of like it is genius.
And he keeps him
he keeps him away from all the bullshit. Whatever the fuck that is doing, that shit is dope. And I love the fact that they sprinkled in the whole the revival niggas and Hangman, because that's gonna happen. And then Kenny always ends up coming. That's the shit I don't like. They always have Kenny Omega coming out last looking lost as fuck. Stop doing that. It's not necessary. Like, either you're going to turn Kenny heel or you're going to turn Adam heel. Do something, but stop wasting my time with Kenny running out looking lost like a fucking child. This shit is annoying. But anyway, that's my take this week. Before we do sign off real quick, G1, please plug your podcast, and where people can find you guys.
Yes, indeed. I'm personally on Instagram at G1 in the words to the rescue, exactly the way it sounds. The squad is Matt Mania Podcast. Again, that's myself, Rock Knowledge, Neo X, T Call, led by Mega Ren, powered by the Steel Cage Podcast.
Shout out to Mega.
Yes, indeed, my bro. We're on Instagram at Matt Mania POD, so MAT Mania POD, Matt Mania Podcast on Twitter. We always got a lot of cool stuff going on, man. Always trying to elevate it. We're another wrestling podcast of color. 2 black dudes, two Latino dudes. So, you gotta definitely, we appreciate all the love, all the support. I appreciate all the love and all the support on the musical side. That's a whole nother story. We'll get into that. But yeah, man, that's it. I appreciate y'all having me out in New York, man, because this whole birthday experience has just been really dope. Special thank you to the beautiful Miss Janelle from HR.
I don't need thank yous. That's fine.
Just take the thank you.
I wish she would just take some shit.
I'm good. I don't need the credit.
He give a compliment, elevate you.
It's cool. I'm
you understand
good.
Appreciation.
I appreciate that he appreciates it, but I don't need it.
Yes, you do.
Good. I don't.
Sometimes the more strongest
woman
woman pat on the back. Stop being a strong woman. Take this compliment.
You never gonna win this one. I'm sure you know that even better than
anyway, don't start your shit. No, we're gonna sign off because I already know where this is going. Once again, no, we're not doing this. Once again, thank you, G1 to the Rescue, for joining us this week, all the way out from Phoenix, Arizona.
By way of Chicago. I'm still in Chicago, nigga.
That's what he says.
60617 East Side.
Once again, make sure to tune in to the Matt Mania podcast and support those that support each other. Next week, we will be back. No, the answer will still be no. But as always, I'm Janelle.
Wait, before you sign on, don't forget Mr. Mrblacc should drop his first episode this Friday. Well, when you hear it, it's gonna be the next day Friday.
The same day.
So
same day delivery.
So
I want that.
So dropping
special delivery.
It should be like when you're hearing this, it should be out on YouTube. Please check it out. And
please support Mrblacc and the Mrblacc show.
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get on the show. I ain't gone yet. So hey, let me know.
But as always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc. # Black Excellence. # we are out.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go a rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans, you gotta wait till your coast chosen.